Good afternoon. This is Philip Koerper. This is the Philip Koerper Show. This is episode 126, February 18, 2020. Oh, over the weekend, the Daytona 500, Donald Trump was amazing. He came down to Florida. Oh, he loves Florida. He knows this is a very important state for him to win. He switched his residences, official residences now, down at Mar-a-Lago. Outside of Miami down to Florida, switched it from New York City. Oh, he complained about it. He says the taxes are too high in New York. Did you know in New York, there's just a few more, the populations of Florida and New York are very close. But did you know the state of New York spends twice as money on the state and the city governments as does Florida? Population's about the same, twice as much government expenditure in New York than Florida. So guess what that means? Huge amount of taxes going on in New York. Why would you want to live there? Of course, all this money is just going to mostly social programs. So if that's your cup of tea, you love high taxes, you want the government to give out a lot of money to the poor, wow, which I think is a disaster. I think that private organizations are much better at giving out to the poor. And so I think that's much better way of going about it. But it's just the way it goes. So anyhow, oh yeah. So Daytona 500, it was on Sunday. Oh, it was amazing. Donald Trump really knows how to do this. He was the head of events. I forgot, the master of ceremonies. Oh, so Air Force One buzzed the racetrack, which was truly amazing. About 800 feet above the track. There's partly cloudy skies. That was so cool. The cameras were on Air Force One, buzzed the track. Then he got into the Beast, the big Cadillac limousine, and went around the racetrack and then said, "Gentlemen, start your engines." Just amazing. It was great. The people there were chanting 4 more years. The people love Donald Trump. It's just great. It's just what an awesome display of how the NASCAR fans love Donald Trump. Melania was there. This one race car driver, she wanted her helmet signed. And so she put that on Twitter. Don Jr. picked that up. He goes, "I know people. I can make this happen. I think I might know somebody." So cool that Donald Trump signed her helmet. Oh, it's just great. It's amazing. Things are so much different now. The Democrats have tried to demonize Donald Trump so much. This Russiagate has been the biggest hoax in American history. Can you believe it? It went on for 3 years. The Democrats have just moved on. I mean, even Nancy Pelosi with the impeachment thing, this is all about Russia. The Bob Mueller thing ended this Russia conspiracy theory that Donald Trump was some kind of Russian spy. Oh, no evidence of that at all. Donald Trump was totally exonerated by Bob Mueller, who the left enjoyed. Then they just continued on and tried to spill it into Ukraine. It's really just truly amazing. What a hoax. But Daytona 500 was great. The race continued yesterday on Monday from the rain delay that it had on Sunday. And very exciting finish. A really bad crash. And that guy is okay. Yeah, Danny Hamlin won. And then there was a really terrible fiery crash by Ryan Newman. Last I read that he was okay in the hospital. So just really very exciting. New exciting news is coming from Alan Dershowitz. And so he is saying that he has proof that Obama personally asked the FBI to investigate somebody on behalf of George Soros. So more here, corruption in the Obama administration. Meanwhile, the Democrats, of course, are always accusing Donald of corruption. So we'll have to wait to see what happens here. Alan Dershowitz says he's got proof that there was a lot of White House control of the Justice Department during the Kennedy administration. I don't think we saw very many liberal professors arguing against that, and that's what Dershowitz says. I have some information as well about the Obama administration, which will be disclosed in a lawsuit at some point, but I'm not prepared to disclose it now, about how President Obama personally asked the FBI to investigate somebody on behalf of George Soros, who was a close ally of his. So that is breaking news. We'll all be very interested to see where this goes. Uh, this is another important fact. Do you know why the Democrats have not subpoenaed Rudy Giuliani? Oh, they're terrified of Rudy Giuliani and his investigative work in the Ukraine. So he's uncovering all of this money laundering going on through the Ukraine energy companies, and to Hunter Biden, to John Kerry's, I think, son-in-law. Oh, and we even have Mitt Romney's kids are involved in this. So another huge scandal that is breaking over this. I was talking to some friends. Something scary is really going on. And, I've always said that Donald Trump, I think he's going to be reelected for sure if the economy can stay strong. This coronavirus is definitely going to be a big fallout. Apple is closing some of its plants down. The Japanese economy is being affected by this. The South Korean economy. So definitely, Japan's saying they're on the brinks of a recession there. So this is going to definitely hurt the economy. It's going to spill into the United States. This virus, this contagion has not plateaued yet. So it's just something that's concerning. China has totally lied about this. It was spreading human to human. They were dumping people into pits. I mean, they really covered this up. They've known about this from late November, early December, but they kept this under the wraps for over a month. And so it's going to hurt the Chinese economy and then surrounding economies, and that will affect the United States economy. So that is something to keep an eye on. This is great. This tweet by Barry Obama over the weekend, trying to brag about, take credit for Trump's economy. This is just hilarious. People on the right are really mocking this. This is so funny because remember Obama, Kevin McCarthy tweeted, former President Obama blamed Bush for the Obama economy and then takes credit for the Trump economy. Here's all I have to say. You didn't build that. Oh, remember he was yelling at us, the capitalists, about not building things, that the government is involved in all the success that we have. Oh, so this is just hilarious. I can't believe Barry chimed in on this. This is a loser. Even the people on the left know this is a great economy. And no one is giving kudos to Obama for this economy. No. Can you imagine? Charlie Kirk on his podcast went over what would be like if HRC was president right now. Oh, and he went on and on and on. We would not have Neil Gorsuch. We would not have Justice Kavanaugh. We would not have the other 189 conservative judges on the court. No, we would not have any of that. We would have higher taxes. We'd probably be in a malaise. We would be buddies with Iran. They would be threatening us. The war in Syria would be out of control. Hillary would probably start some war with Libya. Oh, just imagine that. Obamacare would be on a roll. It would be complete disaster. We would have no fracking. We would not have the energy independence that we would have. Oh, just imagine that. Oh, I just watched, in thinking about that, Bernie Sanders, John Stossel did a really good piece on just what a communist socialist Bernie Sanders has been throughout his whole life. Honeymooning in the Soviet Union, praising Fidel Castro, praising Honduras and the socialism going on there, praising Fidel Castro in Cuba, praising the Venezuelan government. Oh, there's no communist country that he doesn't like. Breadlines are better than nothing. He really just makes it out that capitalism is evil. And so, I mean, capitalism is not a perfect way for an economy, but give me something that's better. Give me something better than capitalism. Oh, there is nothing better than capitalism. So I think Bernie at least is really pretty open about being such a bad socialist. Of course, now he's saying that he doesn't believe in Venezuelan socialism. He believes in like socialism from Denmark. Oh, it's great. There's a great PragerU video about that. There is not much socialism going on in Denmark. No, not at all. So Bernie's lying about that. Okay, he wants the government to take over everything. The educational system, our healthcare system. He wants to increase government jobs. He wants the government basically to do everything. Oh, on another point, if you go to Wikipedia and you look up Michael Bloomberg, okay, the former mayor of New York City, $60 billion billionaire. Oh, yeah, he's very wealthy. Well, how tall is he? Well, if you go to Wikipedia, it says 5'8". Okay, so Michael Knowles and other people who've been with Michael Bloomberg, they say there is no way he is 5'8". Okay, no way. So Donald has been trolling him a little bit, calls him Mini Mike, talks about he's going to stand on a box during the debates, and says that he's 5'4". Mini Mike is 5'4". Oh, this is a hilarious article from chroniclesmagazine.org by Edward Welsh, and it's got a picture of Mini Mike standing right next to Nicolas Sarkozy, okay, who used to be the president of France, who is 5'5". And oh my, it looks like Nicholas might even be taller than Mini Mike. So Mini Mike is getting older, so he's getting shorter. Donald calls him 5'4", massive dead energy. Oh, Mini Mike Bloomberg. No one's talking about, well, everyone's talking about this, but the left, they do not want to talk about this. Now, it's okay. I mean, you could be short. If he was elected president, he would be just a little bit taller than, who was it? I think James Madison. Was our shortest president. Little diminutive man, James Madison. So Mini Mike will be a little bit taller than him if he's elected president. But Mini Mike, he is really raking in the money, okay? His money. He is spending a lot of money, and it looks like he's going to be able to get into the debates. Oh, yeah, the Democrats, I mean, they cry foul with all this election interference, but here is Mini Mike coming to the rescue, and I think he's already spent over $100 million. Donald Trump spent $70 million of his dollars during the primaries, but then opened it up and really fundraised a lot of money from everybody, people like me who could give a little money to Donald Trump. So, but Mini Mike is really kind of coming out of nowhere and really trying to buy the presidency, which is really ironic because the Democrats are supposed to be way against this. It's a fascinating article from the Daily Caller by Adam Weiss. The mainstream liberal media's hypocrisy has been on full display once again, this time with their response to presidential candidate Mike Bloomberg's paid meme army attempts to buy the Democrat nomination and the dismissal of his prior racist remarks. Bloomberg's spree of paying influencers to post memes about him in hopes of going viral has been lauded as a, quote, cool and hip by a large portion of the media, while organic right-wing memes are branded as destructive to society. Bloomberg's social media efforts included paying popular and influential Instagram users to post memes meant to look as if Bloomberg was sending them strange direct messages. The campaign of paid content is not only being glorified by the media, but it has also prompted policy changes on Facebook and Instagram to allow what he's doing. Oh, this is hilarious. Remember how this was all set up? Remember how Barry Obama was just a genius of the internet, and he had this big long list of people, and he was just so smooth, and he was so smart, and this is how, he used this to get elected, and boy, that was really awesome. So Donald Trump using the internet, that's bad and evil, and Twitter and Facebook, they're constantly blocking conservative media. Senator Rand Paul, He posted a tweet that was blocked by Twitter or Facebook, I can't remember one, because of about the whistleblower. Well, we don't even know who the whistleblower is officially, right? How do we even know if we can post anything about this guy if we don't even know who he is? His identity is in secret. Not even Adam Schiff has met with the whistleblower. Very, very strange. So, anyhow, Mini Mike, he's on the Democrats are in complete disarray. They've got new candidates who are just jumping into this race. That's not very good because it's good to have a long process so you can really vet the candidates. But, who knows? It's their primary. So if this is the way they want to do their primary, then so be it. Oh, by the way, speaking of that, they have another caucus coming up in Nevada. Let's see if this is a big debacle like Iowa was. The Democrats are having a hard time with their party. They are in complete disarray. The media is covering it up. One thing that the media is frustrating with me, this morning I was watching Fox News and they're going on and on about Virginia and they're going on and on about these big massacres and they want, Fox News just goes on and if we only just banned all these guns, these massacres wouldn't occur. Well, that is not true. These things are on the decrease. These big massacres are not even, the biggest ones are not even in the United States. We tried banning assault rifles. That did not work. That did not decrease crime. A fraction of crimes are committed with an assault rifle or whatever they call it, some kind of scary rifle, semi-automatic rifle. It's great that in Virginia that a bill got shut down in the state Senate there. Yeah, Governor Nordum, the abortion doctor guy, the guy who's willing to kill babies on the baby warmer, he is really anti-gun. They're really afraid of our guns and they really want to take them away from us. But politically, I'm glad that even in the government, the state government of Virginia, this is having a hard time. Speaking of crazy states with leftist leaders, let's talk about California. California is shocked. They are shocked. Larry Elder tweeted, they are shocked that they have this bill that decriminalized retail theft. And what is it resulting in? More retail theft. Oh, duh. They're so dumb. The thing is, they've got this huge problem with homelessness. All you have to do is kick the homeless people off of the sidewalks. That's all you got to do. It's illegal. You arrest them. Okay? That's all you got to do. And then they won't do that anymore. This is amazing how this works. You make the activity illegal and you clearing them off your streets, and then you have no more homeless people. How much better is that? Living on the streets is not a good life. We should not encourage it. It's funny, last week I was in D.C., homeless people there. There's quite a few. But when it rains, we were there when it was really rainy and kind of cold. Oh, there are no homeless people. Where are they? Well, they all have places to go. They do, and they don't have to go to shelters. Most of them don't want to go to shelters. Oh, they have family members they live in. They've got other places. Some of them, I think, have apartments. They go to those places. That's so much better. Hey, I saw a cool movie a friend told me on Netflix, Apache Warrior. It's on Netflix. I think it's on Netflix for Amazon Prime. And it was great. I really enjoyed it. It has real footage in there of this mission in the Iraq War, and where these Apache helicopters came in on a mission. They didn't realize there was so much of the Iraqi Republican Guard there. So as the Apaches were coming in, they had just a narrow sector that they could fight in. And what they did is they turned all the lights off on the city, then they turned the lights back on, and then like everybody in town, there were a lot of soldiers there, they didn't know that, started shooting up the helicopters. Oh, one of the pilots got shot in the neck. They had to circle around back. It was really pretty dramatic. They all made it back, just barely. Their Apache helicopters were shot to pieces, but still flying. They said they wanted to personally thank Boeing for that. It's truly amazing. it's a neat kind of movie documentary that you might enjoy. I wanted to close out on, I had friends with discussions, about morality, and also about the church. I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And of course, we sometimes have members of the church who are disappointed in the church and they want to leave the church. Some of my friends who've left the church, they have a problem with the church's stand on homosexual behavior. I've talked about this on other podcasts. They think that's wrong. They think these people should not be singled out. These people don't think that homosexual behavior is a sin. Okay, well, they're going against, decades, centuries of tradition. They're going against the teachings of the Bible, and they just think that. I've told you guys about Adam Hamilton, a high school friend of mine who leads the Methodist Church, and he has, I think, the largest Methodist congregation in the United States, maybe even the world, and he doesn't believe homosexual behavior is a sin. So this is a faith tradition. I believe in the Bible as the Word of God as far as it's translated correctly. And there are many scriptures that are in there that refer to homosexual behavior as a sin. And then being a member of my church, we have a prophet of God who leads and guides our church and who cannot lead us astray when he's following God. And he has reiterated that homosexual behavior is a sin. Gay marriage is a sin. Now, it's legal in the United States. Now, we fought it when that was up for debate. Well, we kind of lost. Supreme Court weighed in. Well, gay marriage is like legal, I think, in all states now. And so gay people who identify as gay can get married. I mean, Pete Buttigieg, married Chastain and recently, and that makes him, gives him a lot of credits in the Democrat Party, right? So anyhow, there are members of the church who are leaving over this issue, okay? And so they lose faith in a modern day prophet like Moses who can lead and guide them. I prayerfully have wondered about this issue, and I agree with the prophet. I've prayed about it. I feel that the Spirit is teaching me that homosexual behavior is a sin. That's what I believe. Does that mean I hate gay people? No. Does that mean I have some weird illness called homophobia, which is really weird, just a made-up illness? No, I don't think I'm testing for homophobia, right? No. Oh, but friends debate this with me, and they say, well, gosh, you seem very hypocritical. I mean, are you going to go to a gay wedding and celebrate this? No, I'm not going to do that. See, I will tolerate this kind of behavior. I live in the world. We all sin. I sin, right? We have to put up with sin, but I'm trying to do the right thing. I'm trying to make moral stands when I can make moral stands. And so in my personal life, I choose not to do this homosexual behavior stuff, okay? I'm married. I don't want to commit the sin of adultery, okay? I don't want to be an alcoholic. I think that's morally wrong for me to do that, to drug myself up like that or use other drugs. The church advises me not to do that. If I want to go to the temple in our church, I need to be free of those things, those sins, to avoid these things, to avoid pornography, to avoid harmful drugs. We don't drink coffee or tea. I don't drink alcohol. Don't use tobacco. I'm faithful to my wife. I need to love my children and take care of them financially. These are things. I pay tithing. These are things that we do to the temple. I found this article from last year concerning this from The Verge. Okay, this is not a conservative source. And it talks about this guy. It talks about Mormons in general. So the name of our church is the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Mormons has been a nickname of the church. And talks about how they're great neighbors and stuff. And then they talk about this Joseph guy who lives in Salt Lake City. And then he decided to leave the church. Okay, him and his wife then they decided to leave the church. Okay. And then he said, well, some of his neighbors weren't quite as nice to him. And then he got all these tattoos. And he says people sometimes aren't as friendly as, and so their church friends don't see them as much. Well, I mean, obviously, this guy is just going down different paths. We all have different friends that we all want to hang around with, okay? We can pick and choose. We like being around people who have our similar beliefs and ideals to be our closest friends. And so our friend circle can change. It's just a fascinating a discussion. This article says, last summer, Joseph chose to stop attending church service. He made his decision in the wake of the protest by Sam Young, a businessman and former bishop from Texas. So these people all get these complaints that they don't like about the church, and then they decide to leave. And I'm wondering, well, why were they even a member before? And so didn't they believe it's the Church of Jesus Christ? Don't they believe that the scriptures are true, that the Book of Mormon was translated by the prophet Joseph Smith? So I guess they don't have this faith, okay? They don't have this spiritual conviction. And so they leave the church, which is fine, right? I mean, you have your agency. You can pick and choose. No one is forced into our church. I've talked about this with some of my friends about performing an abortion, okay? I believe abortion is wrong, okay? I don't want to participate in an abortion. As a matter of fact, if I do participate in an abortion, I could face church discipline, okay? I might lose the membership in my church if I perform an abortion. I can't go to the temple, okay? I can't be a member of the church if I'm performing an abortion. If I'm killing babies, this is not compatible. And so the church will, if I tell them that, they find out about it, I'm going to be disciplined, almost guaranteed. This is wrong, okay? We have standards in the church, and we need to try to keep the commandments, especially these very important commandments, and that's a serious sin. If I was a murderer and I committed murder of people and convicted of that, I would lose my membership of the church too. Some people wonder about transsexual surgery, this plastic surgery, cutting off someone's male genitalia, their penis or testicles or whatever. Or, some people do that. Would I participate in doing the anesthesia for that? No, I think that's wrong. I think that's a sin. God gave us these things, not to just chop them off. God, I'm not going to encourage someone to kill themselves, right? Killing life is wrong. Committing suicide is morally wrong. This all comes from God. These morals, like I said the other day with the 10 Commandments, these things come from God. This is morality. Okay, otherwise you just have beliefs. You just have a belief that gay behavior is okay. Well, you might have that belief, right? Prove to me that it's not okay. And I asked my friend, prove to me that homosexual behavior is okay. You can't prove that to me. And that's where God comes into play. A belief and faith in God. And what has God said about this? Well, we know in the scriptures, God says homosexual behavior is wrong. Well, then it's wrong. So I think it's really that simple. And if you're confused over that, in my church, we have a modern day prophet, so we can ask him. What does he say? Oh, it's wrong. It's sin. Okay. We love the sinner, but we hate the sin. Okay. It's sin. It's wrong. So we don't do that. Okay. That's something that's not keeping one of the commandments. So I hope that makes sense. I think that we get bogged down in this. One thing I do ask my friends about this when they're leaving the church, like, what are you going to do now? Okay. So you've left this faith tradition. What are you going to do now? Are you going to do atheism? Well, my friend says, no, I'm kind of looking for other churches. I'm like, oh, okay, what are you going to teach your kids? Well, they say, oh, that's a problem. That could be a big problem. Wow, I sometimes people just for some trendy thing, they're really kind of duped by the world and the lies of the world. And this is really Satan is attacking these people and confusing them. And so they leave something that's really good for them, and they think they're being really woke and smart, but they're just leaving a faith tradition, which is, Christianity's been around for centuries, 2,000 years since Jesus Christ was on the earth. And before that, we had all the Old Testament, where the Savior was involved in the law of Moses and previous prophets. Wow. We have lots of tradition of following God and keeping his commandments. And Dennis Prager's got a great video on the 10 Commandments. Got a lot. Are you going to just throw that away? You're going to just go out on your own and kind of make up life, and try to figure out what your opinion on right and wrong is. All of these things come from God. All the other countries, right and wrong, it's either a Sharia law, it's coming from the Muslim faith or Christianity or Jewish faith. And then you've got communism, which is atheism, but they've adopted a lot of Christian type of laws and morality, some. But these things come from God, a higher power. That's a really important concept. I like studying that. You guys, thank you so much for listening. This is Philip Koerper. This is the Philip Koerper Show. You can subscribe on iTunes or watch on YouTube. All right, you guys, have a great day. See ya. Bye.